Look.
It is Victory Monday in Philadelphia, and let me tell you, it feels excellent. The Eagles are coming off a huge home opener win against the New York Football Giants, 27-24. The Eagles set records, broke hearts, and did it in great fashion. I'm feeling excellent. This is your host, Kevin Taylor. I'm here in the studio to drop bombs, bringing you my top 5 takeaways from yesterday's awesome win. I was there in the building, and look, the kick was, it was right in front of our section. I can't explain to you how awesome the feeling was. I want to jump back into the matchup, give you guys my takeaways. This is top 5. You guys know how it goes down. Let's get into it.
Top five.
So look, what the 4th and 8? Look, Doug Pederson did a Doug Pederson again. 4th and 8, 2 minutes left in the second quarter, and he decides to go for it from the 50. Now listen, I'm all for being aggressive. I love being aggressive. I love taking our chances, but some chances just aren't meant to be taken. Doug, tone it back. And I'm not trying to rip you. Obviously, I think that you get a little overwhelmed. And anybody would. You're a second-year coach, and you really have never called plays before, the second half of the season in KC. So I get it. But look, some things just can't happen. Now, in his press conference, Doug said that, he felt good about the situation. He called up to the analytics guys upstairs, and they said, yeah, let's go for it. So my first question is, who are the analytics guys? Because I've never seen them. I mean, really, was anybody else on the sideline saying we're really going for it, 4th and 8 with two minutes left in the quarter, So look, I understand. You're a second-year coach. You get overwhelmed. It is a difficult situation to be in, especially when you're calling plays and you've got a lot to manage. I get it. I'm not asking to be the coach, but I am asking for some sound decision-making, and I'm asking for someone else to please open your mouth the next time he decides to go for it on 4th and 8 in a pressure situation like that. It just was uncalled for. Here, look. Obviously, the drive did not end in a score for the Giants, and I'm thankful for it. Jim Schwartz, thank you. Thank you for pulling that defense together. But Doug, please hear me. Hear my cry. 4th and 8, you can't be that aggressive in a situation like that. Punt the ball if you have that much confidence in your defense. Let them get a stop deep in the 20, get the ball back, and maybe try to usher a drive to get back in field goal range. It's just about taking your shots and being calculated when you can, but you can't just be careless like that. Other than that, I will say some positive things about Doug. I was very pleased with how balanced the attack was, and from there, I think I saw improvement. I definitely saw improvement, but 4th and 8, what the 4th and 8? Come on, Doug. I have higher aspirations for you than that, and I'm going to be diplomatic about it because I see a double standard in how we grade Carson Wentz as a second-year quarterback, but we don't give that same standard to Doug. And so that's a truth. And so with that being said, all right, fine. I get it, but let's be better. Moving on, the injury bug strikes again. So you guys know the injuries that we had coming into this game. Rodney McLeod was deactivated. Jalen Watkins was deactivated. Corey Graham was deactivated. Those are all members of our secondary. We lost Fletcher Cox to a calf injury, which is now day-to-day. Hicks went out with an ankle. And Darren Sproles tore his ACL and broke his forearm in the same play. Doesn't that just make your heart drop? I feel terrible. Darren Sproles is my favorite player. He's my favorite Eagle. I know he was supposed to retire this year, so it just makes me think about the entire situation and what he's going to do with that. But I aside from that, just prayers up for Darren Sproles, wishing him a speedy recovery. He's a trooper. If anyone can handle that, it's him. He's got a lion's heart, but you never wish anything like that on a player. But that's football, guys. So the injury bug struck, and the Eagles, still came out on top from it. And, that's just a testament to how big this team can be and how they show up. And let's just hope it doesn't strike anymore this season and we get our guys back and we press on. Moving on. Here's a big topic. Odell Beckham, more known as Odell Beckham Jr. Look, you guys saw the 2 touchdowns. You saw the celebrations. I'm not talking about the celebrations. I will be talking about the celebrations in a video coming up after this next. So stay tuned for that because I'm going to break it down. I'm going to keep it a bean. I'm going to keep it 100 and give you guys my exact thoughts on it. And I'm going to be honest and sincere about it too, because honestly, I think people are kind of missing the entire point. And, with all that stuff, I'm going to keep it a bean, keep it 100. Just like I said, we're going to get into it. But anyway, Odell Beckham, he took over the game. I don't care what anyone says, okay? If you like him, if you don't like him, whatever. The dude is one of the greatest athletes to ever suit up in a football uniform. It doesn't matter what you think, period. When he is on the field, that's how it is. He's a monster, okay? He's a problem. Whether he's at 85%, 100%, he is a problem. You saw those 2 catches. You saw him take over the game, bring the Giants back. You saw what Sterling Shepard was able to do when Odell's on the field, that huge 77-yard touchdown. That's because of the attention that Odell receives, right? So he's a problem. He took over the game. But with that said, this is not more about Odell. This is more about our defense. All right? And here's why I say that. Because our defense, we gave up 2 touchdowns to Odell. Guess what? A lot of teams do. We were undermanned. Our secondary was depleted. We had Chris Maragos in there playing starting at safety. I'm not knocking Chris Maragos, but he particularly plays special teams. So obviously, he's going to give up some plays. But they stood tall, they hung in there, and they made plays when it counted. And that's what this football team is going to be about this year, making plays when it counts, tightening up when it counts, getting the job done when it counts, winning ugly, right? It just is the way it is. I was very impressed by that. And the defense definitely showed up and showed out. So even in the midst of not getting any sacks, they got pressures, and Eli was getting the ball out, and, they limited the dink and dunk and got it done in a big way. So moving on, run, right? The Eagles finally really established a run in a great way. Just very awesome to see. LeGarrette Blount made a showing, and boy, did he show out, running over people on several occasions. And I just wonder, was he in shape? Was he just getting acclimated? I don't know. All I know is that the man looked like he was in midseason form last week, and I wanted to see more. Wendell Smallwood got good production yesterday, hitting holes with big runs in the fourth quarter, especially to get the Eagles where they needed to be. Corey Clement came through big with a touchdown too, first of his career, and his first game playing against a big opponent, especially one that he grew up watching in the New Jersey area. So kudos, shout-outs to Clement. Excellent job, way to play your role. And some things too on there. He only came in the game, I think it was 5 out of 6 times he was on the field, he ran. So I wonder what's going to happen with that moving on against LA, because, they're going to notice that he only ran when he was on the field. So I don't want that to be a telling sign hey, this is what they do when he's on the field. But anyway, great job to our run game. Doug, great job for being balanced. Obviously, you guys saw I was critical of him, but he did some good things, and we need to, notice that, and he's growing. I'm not saying it's, whatever's going to happen is going to happen, but in the season, listen, I'm going to be completely honest about it and diplomatic, even though it's not in our DNA as Eagles fans. I'm trying. I really am trying. But finally, this 5th and final point for top 5 is confidence, right? So Jake Elliott hit a 61-yard field goal to win the game, walk-off field goal. The kid wanted it. The man wanted it. He played like a man. He is a man. The man wanted it. He asked to hit that field goal, and man, he got the job done. It doesn't matter how it got through those uprights, but it did. And it's very funny that I'm just circling back on the Odell Beckham thing. I know, and this isn't a shot at him, but obviously Odell has never won in Philadelphia. His record against the Eagles is 1-6. So it's very ironic, with how the animosity that's there. He wants to win here. I'm pretty sure he hates the Philadelphia fans. He said what he's been called when he's here. So and you saw what happened in the game and how it was received by the fans. So for him to stand back there and be waiting to receive the kick, only to see the ball sail right over his head, and he be the last person along with the refs who called the kick good, for him to watch it sail right over his head and go through the uprights to understand and realize his defeat was just completely ironic. Sports is that way sometimes, but seeing that, it was definitely like, after everything that had occurred, and it's like, it's a rivalry. I'm not saying, right now, I'm not saying he did anything good or bad. I'm saying it's a rivalry, so it was ironic. That's my point on that, okay? It's the Eagles and Giants. Like, that's how it is. We play these games tough, and we get after it. But anyway, back to confidence. Jake Elliott hitting that kick. I want to see Jake take that, that achievement and usher in some confidence, usher in some consistency, usher in some accuracy, and really take us another step forward. Understanding that he has a place in the NFL. Literally, like, Caleb Sturgis went down, and I think I posted on our Instagram, with a thought process saying, like, listen, if Jake performs well, don't be surprised if this lands him a starting job, because Caleb Sturgis has been, incredibly injury prone while in Philadelphia. So, obviously Jake Elliott has not won anything yet. A 61-yard field goal, while be it impressive and a record, is not just going to, solidify you as our kicker. We need more consistency, and I want to see that for Jake, because I feel like, he has got a talent there. He's special. With that much power. So it's all about consistency here. And I call this confidence because also Carson Wentz developed some confidence, I feel like, in this game as well. The game was not pretty by any means. He struggled a little bit against that New York secondary, but they're good. Everyone struggles against the New York secondary, okay? But he got it done. Period. He got it done. All right? He got the W against New York. Went out there, ushered in a drive that set up the Eagles. First of all, he matched, okay? So he went and scored when the Giants scored a touchdown, and then he came back and matched, got them in field goal range to tie it up, got the ball back with 7 seconds left, threw a dart to Alshon Jeffrey, who got out of bounds with 1 second left and got us in field goal range, knowing that Jake Elliott had the power in the boot to get there. Listen, it wasn't pretty. Donovan McNabb had plenty of come-behind victories as an Eagle that weren't pretty, but got it done, and he grew from it. Aaron Rodgers, plenty of come-from-behind victories in the same fashion to get into field goal range, getting it done, making that throw when it counts. For confidence, especially for a young quarterback like Carson Wentz, it goes a long way, and I think it's really going to play a big impact for him. And just to show, like, in terms of confidence as well, this game was Carson Wentz's first come-from-behind victory in his career. Do not forget that. This is the first time Carson Wentz has come back, and he came back on several drives, as I mentioned. So listen, that's confidence. There's confidence all around for this defense that they can play. They can make plays when it happens, and I feel like this is what this season is going to be about. And sometimes that's where special season starts. So look, that is my top 5. I mean, look, it's Victory Monday. It's excellent. I'm so happy. I'm walking on sunshine, people, and I'm sure you guys are too. Right now it's sunny in Philadelphia, and we are riding high on this victory, and we're on to the LA Chargers. Let's go get that W. So look, this was Kevin Taylor, top 5. Jump in my comments, like and subscribe. Please hit that button. Become a part of the Birds Fly Talk family. Follow us on Instagram or Twitter at Birds Fly Talk. I see you behind me. So look, Kevin Taylor, top 5, Birds Fly Talk. We out. Peace. They gon' think I want a Grammy.